Today, we're jumping into the latest update for Plants vs Zombies 3. Whilst we saw a lot of these changes coming thanks to data miners, it's always interesting to see how everything works in context. Anyway, let's get straight into it. First up, the tutorial system has received a much needed overhaul. Instead of dragging players through painfully simple levels for ages, the new tutorial condenses all the basic information into just a couple. The streamlined experience makes it much more engaging, where you get introduced to the new character, Snoozy the Taco, fairly early on. Yes, the talking taco is in the game, but sadly no taco time yet. One of the main changes of this update is the introduction of new plants and when you unlock them. The wonderful potato mine is back and better than ever, available from level 3 in the tutorial. He's rocking a new design that looks great, but proportionally it seems very small on the lawn. It looks like it just needs scaling up a bit. Alongside the potato mine, you also unlock plants like lightning reed and cabbage pult much earlier in the game. Similarly, for zombies, the game starts throwing some tougher zombies at you pretty much straight away. You'll encounter the screen door zombie, who is new, and others like stealth imps and gargantuars we've seen previously within the first 15 levels. Obviously, the feature we've been most excited about is pick a plant, unlocked at level 12. Everything seems to work as you'd expect it to. I didn't have any issues. However, do keep in mind that some levels have locked plant selections, with some levels locking all the plants in, which is not unusual for PvZ, but I just hope we have free reign in most levels. This is also combined with the newly added survival guide, which again just works as expected, giving you info on the zombies, but also the lay of the land before jumping into a level, such as if there are gravestones or not. Speaking of which, gravestones make a surprise return, appearing at level 5, bringing back some of those classic PvZ mechanics. This was of course expected thanks to our good old data miners. Gravestones act as obstacles once again that either need to be destroyed or lobbed over with plants like cabbage pult. But that's not all, we also have solar storm levels. And I actually really enjoyed these levels. Sun starts pouring down in crazy amounts during a level, which I just found super satisfying. Being able to just constantly be placing plants down was great. Also, the pre-level screen for solar storms has a unique look, which I think is a nice touch. PopCap has also made some noticeable tweaks to the user interface. There's a new progression bar that shows how close you are to your next unlock at the end of each level, although oddly it refers to plants as items. Another quality of life feature is the ability to skip cutscenes, a small but much appreciated addition. They've also adjusted visual cues like the lawn turning red if you're trying to place a plant in a unplantable tile, although some might find this a bit too intrusive, especially if you're someone like me who prefers to drag and drop rather than tap and drop. In terms of balancing, I noticed that sun now falls faster, which is always helpful, especially as I have found in the past that it can be difficult to produce enough sun before the zombies appear sometimes. While there aren't any significant balance changes to the plants that I noticed, some players might feel differently, but without patch notes, I'm not always the best at spotting balance changes. Performance-wise, the game seems a bit hit or miss. Initially, I experienced some frame rate issues during the tutorial levels, but switching to playing on BlueStacks instead of Nox seemed to fix most of these issues. Still, the game's performance is something to keep an eye on, especially if you're on a lower end device. Now, no update would be complete without a few bugs, and while I didn't run into anything major, some players have reported issues like glitches with gravestone coin collection, audio inconsistencies, and occasional crashes. PopCap hasn't released official patch notes for these bugs, but we can hope they're working on fixes. Overall, this update is a step in the right direction for Plants vs Zombies 3. It addresses many of the issues from previous versions, adds new content, and enhances the overall gameplay experience. There are still some areas that need tweaking, like balancing and performance, but the game is definitely heading in the right direction. Pick a plant is definitely a welcome change, but I'm not convinced by any means that it's a silver bullet. But anyway guys, that's going to do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think of this in the comments below. But other than that, remember to like and subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys. Bye.